Well, today, everybody, I'm so excited to knock out today's video. Today, we're going to be talking about what I think are the best metal amp sims in 2026. Now, I'll say this right here. This is all my opinion, right? There is no right or wrong here. It's just my opinion. So I'm going to be giving you guys my opinions and give some snippets and some audio clips and some commentary on when I use these amp sims and why. My opinions are always changing. My tastes are always changing as I grow as an artist, as a musician, as a content creator. I'm always trying different things and I'm always revisiting old amp sims, right? So here in 2026 in January, this is my definitive list. And one final thing, we're at this point now where the tech is so good, meaning seemingly every amp sim out there is great, is amazing. We're no longer in the 2017, 2018, 2019 era of amp sims. Seemingly now everything here on the back half of the 2020s is amazing, okay? So you can't really go wrong, in my opinion, and from my experiences, with any sort of amp sim that you want to check out, okay? So be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on what your favorite amp sim is for creating metal music. And with that being said, everybody, let's get into it. So I've got a top 10, but I do have one honorable mention. The honorable mention is, in fact, the Tone Suite Distant amp sim from Wavemind. I tried this out on a free trial in between tours. I believe it was around the Halloween time, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember, but I remember when I had come home, I wanted to try this out because I seen a lot of buzz about this amp sim, and then I ran out of time to make a video, and now here we are 3-4 months down the road. So I definitely want to pick this up myself, buy it with my own money, but the Tone Suite Distant is so brutal, everybody. First and foremost, I've said this a million times, but I love things to look cool and look pretty. This amp sim looks amazing. I really appreciate when companies and artists go into detail on the visual representation, and the graphics on this thing are arguably the best out there. That's just my own superficial autistic brain. But getting into the actual tones, I remember when I was checking this out and seeing a lot of my peers make videos on this. Dude, it is so brutal. It's so heavy. You have the ability to tweak this amp sim to your liking very in depth. You have a bunch of different rotary knobs like tights and smooths and transpose and gates and different types of overdrives, different cabs, basically anything and everything you could ever want in a metal amp sim is in this suite. I think you guys will hear me say that a lot, everything you could ever want. A lot of amp sims right now in current day are just jam-packed with literally anything you could possibly want, okay? I have to do my own research and do my own due diligence in trying this amp sim out more, but in the time that I tried it out, dude, it was so sick. So I highly recommend you guys check out the Tone Suite Distant from Wavemind. All right, here we go, my actual top 10. Number 10, let me check my list. Number 10 is in fact an oldie but a goodie, and that is the STL Tones Andy James amp sim. I've used this probably the most when creating content. I use this amp sim, it's my go-to whenever I want to do an instructional video. So I put out a video maybe last week at the time of this being uploaded, talking about music theory. I love teaching music theory, and anytime I teach a music theory lesson or a music theory video, 99% of the time it's the STL Tones Andy James. The low D note end or sound. At one point in time in my career, this was always my demo amp sim. Whenever I would send out my own original music out to be mixed, I mix everything in-house myself now, but at one time, this was my go-to amp sim. It's tried and true. It's 7 years old now, and I've gotten a ton of use out of this amp sim. I love just the stock out of the box type of sound, just amp one, the EVH inspired amplifier seemingly. It's just sick, man. It's very mix ready. It's not too specific or too unique, I guess we'll say. It's kind of a stock sound, but that stock sound is very good. And also too, anytime I do any sort of lead work, whether it's a solo in a song or, whatever, dude, I always definitively go for amp 2 preset to the lead setting. That's like a 6505 looking type of amp sim. Dude, I go for that amp sim just stock straight out of the box. It's that preset. That's always my lead tone. When I did music with Stephen Carpenter, Deftones, and Eric of Cypress Hill on Soul Invicto, all the leads were amp 2 STL Tones. So that amp sim has been all over that lead work that I did with Soul Invicto. Soloing over Stephen Carpenter's guitar tracks was such a dream come true. Not even a dream, because I never thought that would ever happen. But yeah, dude, enough ranting, enough rambling. STL Tones, Annie James, number 10. I love that thing so much. Number 9, another old one. I think I've done a lot of revisiting old amp sims, and I've kind of fell in love with them again. Number 9 is the Powered by Omega / Omega Ampworks Grandifier plugin from Neural DSP. I always go for the Mick Thompson preset whenever I use this thing. It's just really disgusting, yet clear and articulate. This amp sim is rather unique. This has a texture to it. The gain structure is very textury. It's not the tightest thing in the world, but it's very unique. Reason why it's so down on this list is because a lot of the archetypes, when they're modeling amps from Neural DSP, they're kind of just like all about the amp, which is amazing. Like the Soldano, the Omega Ampworks, the Kali, the Nameless. You know, there might be another one in there, but like they're just solely focused on like this boutique amplifier that, you know, we can't really necessarily justify spending $5,000 on the real thing, right? So the alternative is a cheaper version. But the cheaper version sounds amazing, but it's not really jam-packed with a bunch of different crazy specific features or effects, right? It's a gift and a curse. Like you get a boutique amplifier sound, but you don't really get that much jam-packed into it. Generally speaking, that's one man's opinion. I think the archetypes of like the signature bands or signature artists are a lot more jam-packed from Neural DSP. But anyway, dude, yeah, that Mick Thompson preset, it's plug and play. It's super sick. So that's my number 9 right now. I've fallen in love with that amp sim again here in 2026. Number 8 is from Bogren Digital, and that is from the Amp Knob series, and that is all the 5150s out there in the little preset 3-pack bundle. You got like the PV 5150, you got the PV 6505, and you have the EVH. I believe that's what they're modeling after, right? So if you guys are unfamiliar with the Amp Knob series from Bogren Digital, their idea is that you just get a mix-ready preset. You don't really have any sort of tweaking options. And more often than not, I'm not really one for tone chasing and tone shaping, especially when I'm inspired to write something or create something. Now, I love tone chasing and tone dialing just like the rest of us, right? But I find myself not wanting to do that more often. I kind of just want a stock sound good to go. So that's the whole Amp Knob series. I'm somebody who just kind of goes off of inspiration and spur of the moment. So this is a great way to prevent any sort of like just sitting there, chug, 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 tweak, 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 chug, 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 tweak, tweak, tweak. You know what I mean? Like we all do that and that's fun. But when I need something quick and easy, that's where I always go for the amp knob stuff. So, you know, it is a little cliche to have like a 5150 sound, like everything's kind of inspired by a 5150, but there's a reason why that is so, and that's because that's arguably the best metal amp of all time. Number 7, this one's interesting. This is from JST Tones, and this is the Disruptor from JST. This is the Dino Cazares signature amp sim, but the reason why this one's on here, hear me out. When I'm using my real deal Marshall JCM 800, the 2-head I got this year or end of last year, I'm using the cab sim on this amp sim. So basically I take a Torpedo Captor X box thing and I run the dry signal out of my JCM 800 into my DAW, and then I color the tone with a speaker cab. And this is the one that I've liked the best. I tried pretty much every single amp sim that I tried. I really just A-B'd all of them. This is the one that won for me. Not to mention the actual amp sim itself is amazing. You have the model JCM 800. You have what looks like a dual rectifier, but I don't think it is. It's just this heavy, modern, brutal amplifier in there. And you also have a clean one as well. I use this one for the IRs and the cabs in there. However, the amp sim itself is really cool. Number 6, this one was once upon a time my number 1, and it's slowly going down the list, but I still love it, and that is the Auto Audio 1111. This one does, in my opinion, one thing that is absolutely amazing. It is the second most unique amp sim I've ever tried. As soon as you hear it, you know exactly what it is, the 1111. It is so brutal, disgusting, unbelievably heavy. It's probably the heaviest amp sim. So if you want something that is definitively just heavy, go with the Auto Audio 1111. Now there's a bunch of different presets out there, like you can get an HM2 sound in there, you can get a more traditional type of sound. But again, somebody who just likes sounds quick and easy, the default setting is the best one in my opinion out of this amp sim. That's my own personal opinion, but dude, I love that thing so much. I've used that in different recordings here and there, like the song Fraud that I did, which was essentially my first attempt at mixing dubstep into metal and put my own personal flair on it. That was using the Audio predominantly on that track.
Rage, power.
So one could argue that track and this amp sim inspired me to kind of completely reshape how I create music. It's amazing, it's heavy, it's disgusting, brutal, but it is a little lacking with features. Number 5, a brand new one on the amp sim list that I've never really ever talked about on this channel, but here it is. It's from Bogren Digital, it's from the Amp Knob series, and it is the Bad Boy, the modeled JCM 800. Now, I've fallen in love with the JCM 800 sound. I've got my real tube analog head here from Sweetwater, and ever since then, I've fallen in love with kind of the old school Marshall sound. JCM 800 is not a modern metal type of sound in my opinion, but when you boost it, it gives it a unique sort of sound for modern metal in 2026. And you don't really see too many people using JCM 800s anymore for modern metal. I appreciate this one because it's a little vintage sounding, but it is certainly different compared to all the modern tones out there. So I certainly enjoy it. Again, I'm heavily inspired by the Marshall JCM 800 sound anymore. I'm writing a new record right now, and my real deal Marshall JCM 800's on it, as well as the Bad Boy is on it as well. Bogren Digital's Amp Knob series is super sick, and if you don't want to spend tons of time dialing in tones, just grab one of these. So yeah, dude, I really dig the Marshall JCM 800 modeled amp sim from Bogren Digital, and it's called the Bad Boy. Number 4, the Mike Stringer plugin, the signature Mike Stringer plugin from Mixwave. Thank you to you guys for always reaching out and saying that you guys love my preset in there, the Angry preset. I was fortunate enough to be approached by Mike Stringer to make some presets, and yeah, dude, like that was like 3 years ago now, and I love that thing so much. And so many of you guys reach out and say, dude, your Angry preset is so sick. I just really sincerely appreciate that. And just a little sidebar, Mike Stringer and I have become actual real world friends, and what a kind, gentle human being. I love that dude so much. Very thankful to be able to call him a friend. Spirit Box is absolutely taking off, and he and the rest of Spirit Box deserves all the love, praise, and credit that they deserve. An amazing band. Mike's an amazing guitar player, and his amp sim is so sick. This is probably one of, if not my literal favorite amp sim that has everything that I could personally want. I love, there's one preset in there on the clean amp where it's like a super washed out reverb sound, and I love that for like background ambience. That's like my favorite go-to amp sim to use that specific effect. Yeah, dude, love the Mike Stringer, love Mike, love Spirit Box. That's my number 4 slot. Number 3. This one always seems to go up and down throughout the years. But I will say right now, this is definitively my favorite amp sim, okay? But the reason why it's number 3 is I'm trying to think bigger picture and like what would be best for everybody. So it's not number 1 or number 2. But taking the bronze medal is in fact the Fortin Nameless suite. 95% of all of the riffs on Humans Taste Bad, my last album, was the Fortin Nameless suite. When I was touring with Tommy Vex, Fortin Nameless suite. Whenever I create a reel, Fortin Nameless suite, most of the time. This is definitively the most unique sounding amp sim out there. It's basically a heavily, heavily modified Marshall Plexi type of sound. Very clanky, very gnarly, disgusting, kind of a dry, cold type of gain structure. You know what does that even mean? It's not squishy, it's not saturated, it's just very dry and piercing and heavy and clear and articulate. And I love this amp sim specifically for lower tunings. Let's see, like Try Hard, Foo Dog, Like Frostbite. All of my favorite riffs over the last couple years have been using the Fortin Nameless suite. That gain structure is so sick, but kind of like what I was saying with the Powered by Omega stuff, it's a little bit limited. Now, the X rendition of the amp sim is out. It's where you have the transpose knob and delays and reverbs and stuff, but it's a little lacking. And the Nameless suite, in my opinion, does one thing really well, and that's just crazy, clear, articulate, high gain tones. But it wouldn't be my go-to for like a clean or like, you know, any sort of ambience or a lead or anything like that. That's just my own opinion. But yeah, dude, I love this thing so much. Definitively my own personal favorite amp sim, the Fortin Nameless suite. But there's 2 other ones from Neural DSP, ironically, that are taking the gold and silver medal. So number 2, brand new for 2025, just about a year old now, not even, maybe 6 months, and that is the Archetype Misha Mansoor. The reason why this one's number 2 is because of all the additional features in this amp sim. We have like some glitch stuff, we have some laser stuff, you know, we have transposed, drop tuned, crazy presets. This one is the most jam-packed, in my opinion, for metal music. Anything you could ever possibly want, and things that like you never even knew you thought were possible are inside of this amp sim. Like I said, man, the glitch stuff and the laser stuff, like what is that? I don't know. But like the ability to have sounds that are unique and seemingly unique only to this amp sim, it's amazing, man. And obviously Misha Mansoor has an incredible ear for tone. So like, you know, the high gain stuff is going to be perfect, man. Yeah, dude, like don't really have too much else to say about it. It's just so jam-packed. It's the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest amp sim for metal, and yeah, just really stoked that Neural DSP created it in 2025. So that's taking the silver medal this year. But number 1, it's kind of old now. I think it's about 6 years old, but it is so sick, and it's the one that I toured with all across the globe in 2025, from the United States to Canada to Japan and Australia. Number 1 is the Archetype Gojira from Neural DSP. Playing the Gojira at the Palladium, for example, was amazing. That thing sounds so good in my quad cortex. Playing it at Union Transfer, a famous venue in my hometown of Philadelphia, was a dream come true. Taking it to Japan, dream come true. Australia, playing in Sydney and Perth and Brisbane. Archetype Gojira, that was my main guitar tone with the solo artist, Elijah. There's just something about the gain structure that is just so heavy. It's not the most unique sounding, but it's so heavy, yet mix ready and clear and articulate. It's reliable, it's tight, it's everything you could ever want in an amp sim. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to use that amp sim and play, I don't know how many shows now at this point, probably close to 100 ever since we went from the stock blocks in the Quad Cortex to the Archetype Gojira. I've played probably 80 shows with that and played it in several different continents. I love this thing so much. Super sick. Not much else I could really say about it. It's not the most jam-packed, feature-rich amp sim out there, but it's heavy, it's tight, it's articulate, and it's cool. That is my #1 amp sim for metal music in 2026. So everybody, that's my list. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Hope you got something out of this from me, and I hope you guys just enjoyed hanging out. So again, be sure to leave your thoughts and opinions down below. I love to learn from you guys down below in the comment section. What are you keen on? What are some of your favorite amp sims? I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to let me know, because that not only makes me a better creator for YouTube, but it also makes me a better creator in terms of writing and making music. So love to hear from you guys down below in the comment section, okay? I love you guys so much. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for always taking the time to come hang out. And with that being said, everybody, I'll see you guys in a video very, very soon. Later.